Are you looking to lose 50 pounds? I'm going to walk you through step by step how to do this and how to actually lose this 50 pounds the right way and keep it off forever, and to show you the best way to change your body composition, not just lose 50 pounds on the scale and then gain 60 back. So for this hypothetical scenario that we're going to use Sally. Sally is 200 pounds. She is 50 years old. You can insert any other type of person in there. The same rules are going to apply, but this is just the general rule that we're going with. So Sally's 200 pounds. She wants to get to 150. All right. So let's first look at the timeline. How long is all this going to take? Well, before we get into that, I want to explain to you guys the difference between losing weight and actually losing body fat. So in 1 pound of fat, which is right there, contains 3,500 calories. This is a pound of muscle. So as you can see, very different. Most people will say, oh, you know, muscle weighs more than fat. Well, a pound is a pound, but the body fat takes up a lot more space. So when you see that area of your body that you just dislike, that is body fat. You know, that area that you can pinch and grab, that's body fat. So we're trying to lose body fat. When I'm talking about losing 50 pounds, I'm talking about losing that fat in the mirror that you cannot stand, okay? But it also means retaining this muscle tissue. So muscle tissue is very important in losing body fat because muscle tissue helps to keep your metabolism healthy. It helps to make you look toner, tighter. And when you lose the weight, you're going to look better naked. You ever notice how somebody goes on like a crash diet, loses a bunch of weight, they get skinny, but their body just like hangs? Everything looks kind of saggy and flabby. That's because they've lost a lot of muscle and not a lot of body fat. Okay, so we're trying to do this the right way. We're trying to lose body fat. 1 pound of body fat is the goal. 50 of these bad boys. So when we're trying to lose 50 pounds of body fat, in 1 pound of body fat contains 3,500 calories. So if it's 1 pound of body fat is 3,500 calories, we're trying to lose 50. How many calories? That'll take out my calculator. So 50 times 3,500 is 175,000 calories that your body needs to use to get rid of. So let's look at body fat like storage for the holiday decorations. So holidays come, you put everything in the bins, and then you put the bins away, right? Now, when the bins are away, let's say you want to clean out the basement. You got to pull every bin out, open the bin up, take everything out, throw everything out, close the bin, get rid of the bin. It takes a long time. It doesn't happen as quickly as just, okay, snap your fingers and it's done. Same thing with your body and trying to lose body fat. You have to signal to your body, hey, I need you to start using these stored calories, because that's what it is, stored energy. Use those stored calories. Let's get rid of that body fat. Let's clean out the basement, okay? So there's 2 timelines I'm going to give you in order to lose this 50 pounds. So we're going to have the optimal timeline, the perfect timeline, someone who watches this video, executes on everything that we give you here 100%. And then you have the oopsies one, okay? So let's start with the perfect first. So perfect timeline, follow this 100%, everything's on point. They're set to lose about 1 pound of fat. Again, give or take, everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's body's a little bit different. Some people may lose 2-3 pounds a week. Some people may lose 1 pound a week. Some people may lose 3-4 pounds for the first couple of weeks, and then it slowly tapers down and averages out to about 1 pound a week. So that's why we'll just kind of go with this average. So 1 pound is perfect. 1 pound. So that means it's going to take us 50 weeks to do that. Or just about almost 1 year, okay? I know it's not sexy. It's not what everybody else is telling you. Lose 50 pounds in 2 months, lose 50 pounds in 3 months. It's not realistic because, again, we're trying to lose body fat, which is what you see in the mirror. Now, we're going to give us the oopsies timeline. So the oopsies timeline is someone who, they kind of have mess ups along the way. They get stressed out and maybe they miss a couple of workouts, or, ice cream happens, cookies, cake, chips. They can't get on schedule. They can't get on routine, and they just kind of have oopsies along the way. So we'll say they're about 75% compliant. They're set to lose about 0.5 pounds a week, and that would put them at 100 weeks to do that. Kind of demoralizing, right? Kind of like, wow, that sucks. It does. It's not easy. And I'm not here to tell you that it's going to be easy. You're going to have ups and downs along the way. You're going to have weeks where you're perfect. You're going to have weeks where you have oopsies. But the main thing is when you get there, you're going to be so happy that you did, because nothing tastes better than how you will feel when you're 50 pounds down. So that's the timeline, 50 to 100 weeks. Could be faster, could be slower. Just depends on you and how you're going to set this up. And I'm going to explain to you how to make this as easy as we can. So how do we actually do this? How do we lose 50 pounds? How do we do this? First things first, we need to create a calorie deficit. We need to signal to our body, hey, it's time to lose these 50 pounds. So you need to start utilizing these stored calories. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Clean out the basement. So we do that with a calorie deficit. And that's going to come from your diet. 70% of your results are going to come from what you eat. So the nutrition component is extremely important in all this. Okay? 70%. Let that number sink in. It's a big number. So it's going to come from that. Now, the major thing, like I said before, is I don't want you to lose 50 pounds in 3 months and be flabby and look like terrible and not look healthy. I want you to lose the 50 pounds and be a totally different person when you take your clothes off. That's the goal. So in order to do that, we need to retain muscle. Again, when we retain muscle, we look better naked, we look toner, and we also keep our metabolism healthier for the long haul. So we retain muscle by weight training, and that's going to be 30% of the equation. Okay, so to get to the 100% of this weight loss, 70% is going to come from your nutrition, 30% is going to come from retaining muscle mass. All right? So let's move on to the diet portion of it. So we need to create a calorie deficit. So we create a calorie deficit in order to signal to our body to burn off those extra calories. So we're going to do this again. Every person is different. I don't know who's listening to this on the other end, but you could pick up my blueprint book, which is in the description below, and that walks you through step by step how to figure this out for your particular situation. But for a general rule, Sally weighs 200 pounds. Okay? We're going to times this by 1. And that's going to give us our starting weight calories, of 2,000 calories per day. Again, give or take, could be more, could be less. It depends on the person who's listening to this. General rule here. So if Sally consumes 200 calories, 2,000 calories, every day, she will be in a calorie deficit, which is 70%, and she will lose about a pound a week, getting her to her goal of 50 pounds of fat loss. We'll signal to our body to get rid of those stored calories. We're cleaning out the basement. So that's the first starting point. All right, now we're going to talk about bonus. How do we bonus this up, right? How do we add more fuel to this fire here? So we do that with protein. Higher protein diets have been shown time and time again to help you burn off more body fat. Whenever we consume more protein, our body has to heat up a little bit to burn off those extra calories in digestion. So we do that with higher protein. So the way we're going to figure this out is we're going to take Sally's body weight, okay, and we're going to multiply that. We'll multiply that by 0.9. So Sally weighs 200 pounds. We're going to multiply that by 0.9, and that gives us 180 grams of protein per day as a good general starting point in all of this. So that means that out of her 2,000 calories, she needs to make sure that she's consuming 180 grams of protein a day in order to lose the body fat, 50 pounds, and retain as much muscle as possible. So what type of structure should we do this in? Do we do low carb? Do we do high carb, high fat, low fat? What is the right way to do it? As always, the right way to do it is a balanced approach. I recommend utilizing a flexible dieting approach. Okay, flexible dieting is the best way to do it because it prevents a lot of these oopsies. So what flexible dieting actually means is your body only sees protein, carbs, and fats. So whenever we consume something, your body doesn't discriminate against the food. It just sees the protein, carbs, and fats and utilizes them as needed. So for example, if it's your birthday and you want birthday cake, now, if you want birthday cake and you're following a low carb approach, you're going to have an oopsies. You're going to say, Anthony's not looking. Don't worry about it. I'm going to have a slice of cake. I'm going to go crazy. It's my birthday. I'm entitled to it. And there's a whole other story behind that. And then you'll lose you'll have a bad day, and it's going to put you further on down that timeline. But with a flexible dieting approach, if that piece of cake that you want is 300-400 calories, then you factor that 300-400 calories into your 2,000 calories for the day. As long as you're hitting your protein intake, you will still be on point. So that means that you can even have your birthday cake, have your cake and eat it too, so to say. So you can have your birthday cake and still be on track for perfect, which is exactly what we want. And this happened very similarly to one of our other clients, Noelle. She lost well over 50 pounds in a shorter time span, but her thing was wine. She wanted wine. She loves her wine. So she factors the glasses of wine that she has into her daily day of eating, and it allows her to stay on the perfect track and lose that body fat the fastest way possible. So now, let's talking about add fueling to the fire. Add fuel to the fire. How do we add more fuel to this? How do we get this to go in the right direction? Well, we're going to do that with 3 times a week. You're going to be doing full body routines. All right, so we're going to be doing things like barbell squats, all right, barbell deadlifts, barbell bench press, overhead press, inverted rows, and all those full body movements. And the reason why we're doing those 3 times a week is because full body movements utilize a lot of muscle at once. And as we learned earlier, the more muscle we have, the better our metabolism is going to be, the better we're going to look when we take off all of our clothes and we look better naked. So we've got to make sure that we're keeping this in there and utilizing a lot of muscle at once. Whereas when you go to the gym and you use machines or you do other like boot camp type stuff, it's not really the type of weight training that you need in order to lose the 50 pounds. So that's how we're going to add fuel to the fire. 3 times a week, you're going to do full body routines, and you're going to be doing those movements that utilize a lot of muscles at once. All right? So now I know what you're probably thinking. Well, okay, we got the working out down, we got the diet down. What about cardio? Well, as you can see in this equation here, cardio is not on this equation, but we're going to add some bonus in there because that's exactly what cardio should be. You always want the cardio equation to be a lot less than everything else because 70% is going to come from your nutrition. Most people have it the other way around. 70% of their loss is trying to come from the cardio. Doesn't work like that. So not needed, but a bonus is we're going to give you a step goal. A step goal is the best way to go about doing this because the step goal will keep you in check with all this, and it will allow you to track everything you're doing in a much more repeatable manner. So for example, if I told you, okay, well, in this hypothetical scenario, you're going to have to do anywhere between 10 to 15,000 steps per day. And you can do that however you want. You want to walk on the treadmill, you want to jump rope, you want to go for walks outside after you eat, take a 15-20 minute walk. Doesn't matter to me as long as you hit those daily steps every day. And that's the cool part, is it gives you flexibility. So that's the best way to do it. It's the best way to track it, to keep that 50 pounds off and lose it as fast as possible. Now, the last thing that we need to talk about is tracking and measuring data. Why is this important? This is important because if you plateau at some point during this journey, which inevitably most people will, you'll know what levers to pull on the back end to fix it and keep you still moving in the right direction. So for example, let's say that you're consuming 2,000 calories and you're well on your way to losing 50 pounds. Halfway through, you just hit a wall and your body's not losing anything else. Well, now you say, okay, look, my steps are on track. I'm doing my weight training. My diet's on track. Well, something needs to change. Let me increase my steps. And you kind of pull that lever and you go from 10,000 steps to 15,000 steps. And you start moving again. You start moving in the right direction. Not moving literally, but the scale starts moving again. So that's why it's so important to track and measure data. So how do we track the diet? Well, I recommend tracking the diet with good old-fashioned paper and pen. That's the best way to do it. It's the best way I learned. It's not the convenient way, but it is the best way to teach you how this is done. So you can measure your diet and track your diet with my blueprint book. You can pick that up in the description below. Okay, it's going to walk you through the ins and outs of how to do this. So pick up the blueprint book below. And again, you could just write everything out and it makes it so much easier and teaches you. Yes, there's apps out there. Problem with the apps is there's 1,000 different choices for like chicken breast, and it can be overwhelming and confusing. The pros of the apps are that it's convenient. You carry it in your pocket and you can figure it out as you go. But planning is a success. Success is a planned event. So by writing it down, you're going to be able to see things a little bit more clearer and learn for the long run. All right. How do we track training? Well, training needs to be tracked just like everything else. These are the important levers that you need to pull when you're trying to lose 50 pounds. How do you track your training? By keeping a workout journal. You can keep a workout journal as simple as using paper and pen or notebook, or you can pick up my workout journal below. That'll help you with that too. But you're going to use a workout journal. So for example, you worked out today, you did squats, you did 100 pounds on squats, you did it 10 reps, okay? Next time you come to the gym, you got to try to beat that. So now you do 100 pounds for 11 reps. You're making progress. You're stimulating muscle. You're telling your body, hey, retain this muscle tissue. That's exactly what you're doing. Now, how do we track weight and fat? I recommend going on Amazon and picking up a Bluetooth body fat scale. And every morning after you go number 1, number 2, step on the scale. It will register your weight and your body fat. Don't even look at that number because it doesn't matter. It will go right to your phone. And every week, you're just going to look at your trend line. Are you trending down? Are you trending up? If you're trending down, you're moving in the right direction. You're losing weight. If you're trending up, something's not right. So don't even look at the numbers. Don't even pay attention to the numbers. Look at the chart. And look at the chart over a week, 2 weeks. That's how you really make educated guesses. I talk about this in my blueprint book. So you're going to use a scale for that. All right, and the bonus one here, and how do we track our activity and our steps, is by using an Apple Watch. It's my favorite way to do it. It's the best way to do it. It's the most convenient way to do it. And again, it's going to track your steps, tracks a lot of other things too, your heart rate and other things. But Apple Watch, again, just to make sure you're getting your steps in every day. All right, so that's how you lose 50 pounds. Again, it's not an easy thing to do, but I know that you can do it if you follow the steps here. So if you're interested in having us help you do this, you can click that link below. We can walk you through how we do it on coaching, or you could pick up my blueprint book and walk through it right just like that. All right, Anthony, AB Fitness Center, and I'll catch you on the next one.